Good morning. It is 5 o'clock on the dot on this Thursday, and hopefully you are now up. You've had your first cup of coffee. Maybe you're getting ready for some breakfast, or maybe getting ready to head out the door. I'm Sydney Cameron. Our Destination Thursday series actually continues this morning. You may remember last week, Amy sent Casey to Breaks Interstate Park. Well, time now is 5:03, and a family in Washington County, Tennessee is still seeking justice nearly 8 months after their daughter's death. People with state-issued handgun carry permits will be allowed to be armed inside Tennessee's new legislative office complex. Lawmakers and staff are beginning to move into a renovated office building near the state capitol this week. The facility is scheduled to open to the public this month. House Speaker Beth Harwell and Senate Speaker Randy McNally announced that people who wish to keep their guns on them inside the building will be required to present their permits at security checkpoints. Earlier efforts to allow handguns inside the old Legislative Plaza complex were thwarted because Governor Bill Haslam's administration did not want to implement the change. In Virginia, today a judge is set to hear a motion to subpoena top government officials. That motion was filed by Wise County Commonwealth Attorney Chuck Slimp. It would subpoena Governor Terry McAuliffe, Lieutenant Governor Ralph Northam, and the Secretary of the Commonwealth for 5 cases involving felons seeking the restoration of their right to possess a firearm. Slimp says he has questions about the McAuliffe administration's process to restore those rights. Time now is 5:07, and more than 90% of offenders in prison will eventually be back in our communities, according to the Tennessee Department of Corrections. Time now is 5:10, and more news from around the region. Beginning tomorrow, a remote area medical clinic is offering free health, vision, and dental care. You think maybe we could get them on board and you take part in that?
You know, I don't think the world is ready for a No Shave November from me, but I sure do applaud the guys who do take part and help out our young people.
Oh yeah, definitely. So we all know that it's a yearly excuse to set aside those trimmers, but those deputies are putting their money where their beards are. So for every person who participates, they're going to donate $50 to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. Sheriff Fred Newman says if all the men at the department take part, they could raise $4,000. And they aren't keeping the fun to themselves. The sheriff's office is challenging other law enforcement agencies to participate as well. Definitely a great cause, and I'd love to see who else jumps on board. Just some fall weather, right?
Yes. Fall weather.
About time. Time now, 5:18. Coming up, we're going to take a look at news from across America. President Trump's pick to head up the U.S. Department of Agriculture might be in jeopardy this morning. A source close to the situation says Sam Clovis might be forced to withdraw his nomination because of a possible connection to George Papadopoulos. There are questions about the link between the two and the trip Papadopoulos took to meet with the Russian official during last year's election. Papadopoulos, a former campaign aide to President Trump, pleaded guilty to lying to federal agents who are working as part of the probe into the possible coordination between the Trump campaign and Russia. Now, there has been no comment yet from the White House or from Clovis's attorney about his nomination. Earlier this week, the White House press secretary said she was not aware of any plans to pick a replacement for Clovis. The holiday season is upon us. It's just a little over 7 weeks until Christmas, Casey.
It gives me 6 weeks and 6 days to start my shopping.
Oh my goodness,
then
you're one of those.
We can get it all done. That's right.
All right. Well, it is time to get into the holiday spirit. So in our Consumer Watch this morning, we're talking about holiday shopping. Now, I'm not artistic like that, so I wouldn't necessarily color them, but I think they're much prettier to look at than the red ones. I think this is very cool. Here's how it works. Customers with iOS 11 installed on their iPhone 6s or later can choose to shop in AR through the Amazon app. There they can pick a product, including furniture, appliances, toys, and electronics, and then they can overlay it onto their living spaces to see how it fits. The app also allows products to rotate a full 360 degrees, and my sister would love this. So my sister, she has a rug that she has been trying to buy for about 15 months now. She buys a rug online, she lays it down, she hates it, and she sends it back.
This is exactly what she needs.
Exactly
She's going to see the rug in her living room.
Yeah.
Before she ever makes the purchase.
Exactly what I need, because every time she buys a new rug, guess who she sends it to? Me. Because her husband says, I'm done,
don't bother me about this.
You've got a stack of rugs in your living room.
Tennessee Democrats are putting their support behind resolutions calling for the legalization of medical marijuana, wider health care coverage, and a $15 minimum wage. The state executive committee passed the resolutions, which express the positions of the state Democratic Party. State lawmakers have been studying the issue of medical marijuana since the end of last legislative session. Now, the executive committee member says there is a growing body of research about the benefits of medical marijuana, including for the treatment of chronic pain. He goes on to say changing the law could also help combat the opioid epidemic. Another committee member says raising the state's minimum wage by nearly $8 an hour would help lift more Tennesseans out of poverty. I don't know about you all. I don't even set my clocks back anymore because they all do it for me.
Oh.
We still have a couple in the house that I have to roll back.
Do you?
Yes.
Maybe my car. I think that's the only one I can think of. But everything else just...
Look at you, Cindy. You're all about it.
She's high
tech
tech.
savvy.
You
High-intensive
sure are tech
technology.
savvy.
So as the nurse delivered multiple shots, Antoine talked Tobias through the pain, as you just saw, and when it was over, he wasn't very happy, but Dad was right there to comfort him.
Yeah.
It is something between men and their son, because Curtis talks to Declan like that all the time, and I'm like, he is not a teenager yet.
That's
what
my
are you
favorite
doing?
part about it. You got to give him that. You got to give him that advice.
Yeah.
Tell him this is what to expect, but everything's gonna be okay.
Me, I'm sitting over there like, oh, little fat man, my little sweetie, what's going on? And Curtis is like, look.